morning, good afternoon. Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm just going to take a second and I'm going to load our video and our comments. And I'll give everyone a minute to come in. Perfect. There we go. I think that looks good. I'm just going to take a second and I'm going to tag a couple people. There we go. Hi Louise, thanks for joining, love. I'm just going to give everyone a second to come in. So I'm really excited. Today we're going to be doing clusters, and I'm going to show you guys how to make belly bands. So I'll just give everyone a second to come in, and then we'll get right into it. I've basically backed up everything to cardstock. So the rest of the kit, so that's like our tags. So there was 4 pages of tags. Yeah. 2 pages of, and I cut these down, 2 pages of postcards of our journaling cards. And then I've taken scrapbooking papers that I kind of thought were like a nice green, like a neutral that would go really well with the kit. So this is just scrapbooking paper, and I backed it up to cardstock to give us some thickness. So I'm just going to wait for everyone to come in, and then we can get right into it. So basically we're almost done our book. I just want to add some clusters and some a belly band to each of the signatures. And then this is a super fun thing that you can do too. So what I've done is, and this is what I like to do. So on a 12 by 12 piece of paper, like scrapbooking paper, I would do it that I have 3 sections, and I've stuck to like a neutral sort of pattern. So we're going to make 3 belly bands, 1 for each signature. And then there was enough left over that I had a couple pieces of scrap that I can use just to rip and tear when we go to do the clusters. So I left this on the scrapbooking paper. Hi Morg, thanks for joining, love. So we have a couple pieces of scrap paper to play with for our clusters. So it kind of goes a long way. And then this one here, this is super fun. So if you have like a scrap piece of paper, so this would be 12 by, I believe this is around 3. 3 1/4. Yep, so we've got 3 1/4 here. So what I like to do is just, you have your middle section, which is the biggest part, and then I fold it down so that I'm not quite at the bottom. I have about 1.5 inches towards the bottom, and then I tuck this one up towards the top, like that. Sorry, so the bottom one comes, sorry, I did that wrong. Yeah, so that was the top. The top comes down to about 1 inch from the bottom, and then the bottom comes up about almost 2 inches from the top. So just kind of like that. And then what we can do is you could stitch around the entire thing if you want to do that. So you just stitch around the whole thing like this, like just in like a triangle box kind of thing. Or you could add glue here if you wanted to and make a pocket and have it like this. Or I like to leave them just like this, and then the recipient of the journal can use this as a secret journaling spot. So I would literally just tuck it like this and put it into one of the pockets. So this would be perfect to either go like something like this where we're tucking it in here like that, or we can tuck it into our little pocket here. So I have, in this one here, I have our, one of our envelopes from the kit, and then I'll have this one here just like that. So I can just offset them, and we can tuck them right back into our little tuck spot like that. So I like to add stuff like this in too to give the recipient more journaling space. Hi, Linda. Thanks for joining, love. So far we've done really well. We've got all kinds of script stamping in here, stenciling. We've added the elements that we've already made. We've done some decoupage. I just have a little bit of decoupage to do on the final signature, but I can do that once I get there. We've done, and I love how these have turned out, guys. If you guys can see that with the mica. I know I have a bad glare coming in from my light because it's 9 a.m. so I have morning sun. Absolutely, you can distress them, but if I'm going to be gifting the journal, something like this, I would leave this entirely up to the recipient. So you could leave it completely blank like that. You could ink it all up if you wanted to. This is just something that I just like to add in as a little extra. So that's just something I can tuck into a pocket like that. Anything that I hide into pockets, I kind of leave more blank for the recipient to finish and to put their personal touch on things. But if I were to take this, and what I could do too is, oops, sorry guys, I have it backwards. There we go. What I could do too is I could add, like I've done before with the closure, where we did like kind of what we did here, very similar, like this, where we've added the closure. I could do that here as well and add a closure. I could add something to here, a cluster, and I could kind of zhuzh it up. I could also attach it into my book like this. So if I were going to put it into the book, I'd want to finish it like an ephemera piece, and then they could tuck something behind it, or something like that. So the elements that I like to add to my pages, I will absolutely stitch around them and finish them and make sure that, you know, they're beautiful going in. But something like this that I just want to leave kind of plain, I can tuck that just as it is into that little pocket here, and then it just gives my pocket that little something to stick out, so they see that there's something else in there, and then they can do what they want with it. Or what they could do is just use it as journaling space, and then look, it'll tuck right into, if you guys can see that, this will tuck right into the envelope here. Or I could do that as well, tuck it right into my envelope, and then put it in and hide it. You can do that as well. I just like that little pop of color. There. So that's just something fun you can do. Then what we're going to do, we're going to move over here, and I want to cut these out. So we have 3, and I've done this so they're perfect in size, but I'll show you how I would get to this point. I just want to cut these out really quick. I wanted to have everything glued down prior to coming live today because it just saves so much time. And then I can ensure that everything's nice and dry and I don't have to wait for anything to dry. And I just tore these, so I just have a little tiny bit of overhang just up there. Perfect. Okay, and same with this side. Let me give that a little snip. There's our first one. And I did 3, 1 for each of our signatures. And I'm really excited, guys. We're almost done our journal. And so this week today we're going to do our belly bands and clusters. And next week I'm going to show you guys how to do the bead dangle for the front cover. And we'll add some kind of like maybe like a book plate or something. We'll add something on there. Or a word or something. We'll figure it out. That's the game plan. Okay. So now that we have our 3 belly bands, we're going to open up our book. Here we go. So we want 1 for each signature. So we'll go through. I love how that turned out. And towards the back, I think right here is going to be perfect. So what I'm going to do, when I make, when I have the idea to do the belly band, I don't like to make it go all the way to the very bottom of the page and then the top of the page. I like to leave about 1/4 of an inch of a gap. So if you guys can see that towards the top of the page and the bottom. And that's just to give it stability inside the book. And what we want to do is we want to take our glue. And we're just going to lightly glue within, I'd say, 1/4 of an inch on both sides. So on this side here at the top and on this side here at the bottom. Just like that. So we've reinforced this, like our piece of paper, to cardstock to give it stability. And you just want to double check that this is the side, like you have your pattern facing upwards. And then we're going to put this, yeah, right here towards the center of the book. And I said about 1/4 of an inch in, yeah, and then 1/4 of an inch to the top. There we go. So it's just the top part here that's glued down. So again, we're going to be able to tuck something underneath here. You guys can see that. And the cardboard, or the cardstock, sorry, also gives it that that reinforcement. Just like that at the top. And then I like to decorate it. So the first thing I like to do is grab some lace trim. And we always have a right side and a wrong side. So I just like to verify, yep, that's the right side up. And I'm going to take my Fabri-Tac. Here we go. And I'm going to glue right along here, the very edge of this side here. There we go. And I'm going to, I have it just a, so that happens sometimes, guys, if we have like a little piece that doesn't cooperate, I just give that a tiny little trim off. There we go. And I've got one here too. Sometimes that happens. Just very carefully take that off. Here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue that right down to here, into my edge. And I like Fabri-Tac because you don't have to play with it too much. You just make sure that you put it down exactly where you want it, and it dries really quickly. And then, yeah, that's perfect, and it's on my edge. And it just kind of gives it that little something. So that's right here. And I'm going to do the other side. There we go. And for this side, we're going the other way, because that's the right side up. Oh, there we go. And then I'll just give it that little trim at the top. There we go. And then if you guys can see, we have that crochet lace now on that entire thing. And then what I like to do, and this just kind of gives it like a subtle kind of look, I'm going to take a bigger piece of lace. And this one should be perfect right here. Oh, it's my favorite glue for gluing down fabric. And as you guys can see, I don't have to fight with it or anything. It goes right down. I've used Celine's Fabric Fusion, and I just find that you have to hold it down for a really long time. And when you don't get that stick right away, I find that it's easier for your fabric to move. Where this doesn't give you that opportunity, it's like once it's down, you have like a second to play with it, and that's it. And then it's down and it's stuck. So it's one of my favorite things. And it dries clear too. So you don't have to worry about bleed through and stuff. So I've done like a little band going up and down. And I'm going to use this delicate lace here. I just want to trim that. There we go. So we're straight at the bottom. Again, right side, wrong side. We've got the right side facing up. Yeah, right here. And that just gives our belly band a little something. So, as you guys can see, and it totally depends on your preference, some people like to add lace to every single page of their junk journal. I don't feel like you have to do that. I like to embellish with it. And lace is also, you know, sometimes it's hard to find, vintage lace. And sometimes it can be quite expensive. So I find too, I just like to embellish things with it. And I'll decorate the odd page. So basically, when you're looking at a journal from, say, the front perspective of the book, I like to, if you guys can see this, so I've done the front cover and I've done the back, and I could decorate, say, the center signature, the front and back. So if I did that, I'm going to have about halfway through the book over here, I'm going to have more lace hanging out of the bottom. And then over here, I'd have more lace hanging out the bottom. So then it gives the appearance from the bottom, the top, and the sides that you have more lace on the inside. And then I like to use it again for, like, you know, around pockets and my different things here and there where I'm using it to embellish. And I like to do that like once my book's together too. I'll go around some of my ephemera pieces. Like I could go here and I could add pieces of trim. Like I really like that actually, right to here. So I could do that. Just come right over here as an example. I hope I'm in frame, you guys can see. Yep, good. There we go. And then I can just add that little piece of crochet lace at the bottom. So it only takes a second just to add that something. And that's the right side up. There we go. Just right across like that. And if you guys can see, it just kind of adds that little something that it's missing. So I really love to do that. Yeah. And it only takes a second to dry. So here, we're back to our belly band. So again, guys, it looks very beautiful when you add something behind it. And then we can add like a little cluster to the center. So what I like to do, and this is just one technique. So we're going to go over to our postcards. And so these are smaller elements. They're not overly big. And I have, okay, that might be too big. That's okay. I have a really large scallop punch here at my desk. And let me see how that's going to look. Yeah, that's not going to work. It's too... I underestimated that. I have another one to compensate. Hold on. That's really small. Yeah, that's like, if you guys can see, this is huge. I don't know why I thought that was smaller. That's okay. So I would usually punch something out where it's either a circle shape or something like that. You can do it that way. And then you could add the cluster to the center. Or what I could do, it doesn't matter how, like which way you do it, I can tear it too. So let's take our bunny from the bottom here. So it's no worries. That's just another way to do it. And then what I can do is this I'll ink up. There it is, it's hiding. Hi Gilly, thanks for joining, love. Alright, there we go. So now I can ink this here up, just around my sides and my edges. And I actually like how I've just kind of torn that. So there's all sorts of ways. You can use your punches, you can use your die cuts, like you can use like a die cut shape if you wanted to. You could use your die cuts for layering as well. And then, so to make a cluster, I'm going to take a book page. I'm just going to make sure that I don't have any bad words. So that's what I like to do. I just like to we're all right here. Just like to make sure there's nothing crazy being said or any bad words. And I guess it depends on the book, right? A lot of the times if I'm using like something like if I'm using something like an encyclopedia, I don't really have to worry about it too much. Okay, maybe we'll tear off a little bit here. Like that. So we can just kind of play with it until it looks right. And then I have a book page here. There we go. Just like that. So then when it kind of looks right, I can just, again guys, whoops. Add your bit of glue. There we go. Where we want it. Right like that. There, that's perfect. So we have it kind of like this. And then I can come in and I can tear off a piece of this as well, just to give it some kind of a contrast. So again, just like this. And just kind of tear it closer to there. Okay. Yep, right in here. Like that. There, where we have our layered effect. That was just a tea dyed book page. So that's what I like to do with my leftover book pages after I take books apart. I like to use the pages for layering and for clusters and collaging. And I also like to, there's some mixed media techniques I use with them. And there's also page pockets and things that you can make out of them. So it's just a lot of fun. So I don't throw anything out. I essentially recycle everything. Oh, I'm so glad you joined us, Gilly. There we go. There, so just going to add that little bit of distressing just to give it a little something. Sometimes we end up tearing off too much. And then what I like to do is add some kind of a piece of fabric to it. my little handy bag full of lace. And I can just kind of quickly go through. And I have this beautiful crochet lace here. Let's see, what else do I have? That might be better. Yep, I have a little piece like this. There we go. And it has like a rose on it. So I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut a little piece off. Hi, Ellen. Hi, Angela. Thanks for joining. There we go. And then we can kind of so I just like to play with this until it kind of looks right. So see, I really like that where it's just kind of hanging out from the top, or maybe even, let's see. So that's what I do. I just kind of play with it until it kind of looks right. And we could also add some cheesecloth. I have a ton of cheesecloth in front of me. I buy it like this, guys. So it comes in this huge bundle. I think it's $15, but I mean, it was bigger than this. I actually split this in half with a friend of mine because it's so big. And it's about $15 Canadian for this from Amazon. And I bought this probably close to 3 or 4 years ago. So that's how long this has lasted me. And I use this quite a bit. And you only just pull off like a piece or two. And then I fray it. You guys can see. There we go. This kind of gives us our raggedy bits. And I really like that look too. So that's the other thing too that I see. And then if you decide that, hey, I don't like that, I just might, pull something up, or even right here. Probably right here is my best bet. Let's see. There we go. See, I'm not too worried there. And that's where I can add my little piece of cheesecloth. There we go, guys. So just kind of like that. So if you guys can see what I did, I just cut off a small piece. I frayed it all up. Here we go. And then I kind of bunch it. If you guys can see, it's like this. And then I've just kind of bunched it sort of squishy, like in there like that. And then it'll stick out the sides. So it just gives it that little bit of interest. If you guys can see. And then I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to glue this right back down. Here we go. So when I'm doing clusters, I like to add that little bit of fabric, and I like to add that little bit of lace and stuff too. So let's do the same thing here. So I'm going to kind of bunch this in a way where it might, here we go. And I can just kind of add it in like this. So it can kind of, let's see. Yeah, I think that's going to work nicely. And it's not going to bulk it up too much either. Yeah, right like that. So then I'm just going to tuck this in like this. And I'm going to fabric tack it right along here. Here we go. There we go. So I find when you're using your fabrics and you're using your trims, I just like to embellish with them. I don't necessarily add them to every, I mean, you can add them to every single page. I just find that when you're just adding like little bits and pieces, it just gives it that interest. And I'm going to add a little bit more. Yep. Just to here. To make that pop. There we go. Right like that. And that's how I do like a little cluster. And then I can add that right to my little belly band here. And again, I have fabric both fabric and that here. So I'm just going to take my fabric tack along the back, and I'm going to glue it like just like right along here. If you guys can see that. I can pounce it like this. Just like that. Give it a good glue down. And then I can add it right like this to the center of my belly band. Right here. And I don't mind if it sticks out of my book a little bit. So there, that just gives our belly band a little something. It doesn't have to be directly in the center. We just want it that it's in there. And then what I can do too is I could tuck in journaling cards behind this. I could tuck in an envelope. So if I decided that, because that's why I don't like to permanently put down my envelopes when I first start my journal, because I like to do something like this. So that's just, I've got my envelope tucked over and it's reinforced, or I could even just, yep, right under here like this, and it holds your envelope right in place. So if you can see that, it's just beautiful, and the way it looks layered, right? So you have your envelope, you have your belly band, and then you have your little cluster on top. And then what I like to do is you can further embellish it, and I think I've moved them, into here. Yes, I did. Perfect. I have little flat back pearls. So this is the other fun thing you can do. And I like to, see, and I even, like, my strings and my weird things, I mean, I like to keep that too, because if you're keeping like little pieces of fibers and stuff, guys, I'll show you. Just need to find one. Here's a little piece of green, right? I even do this with sewing thread, where it just like doesn't really matter how it looks. You just, I guess I'm trying to make like a little bow here. Hold on. Okay, so I can do it like that. And like this. There we go. And wrap it like this in the center. Okay, and then I can just fabric tack that down right here in the corner. Where it's just like that. And then I cut the bottom. Okay, that's not working out so well, but there we go. So don't hold that for a second. And you can just play with it till it looks right. And I do the same thing where I'm just taking like a little piece of the, like my sewing thread, that'll be like in a little ball or whatever, and I'll glue it down. That's the other thing I like to do too. And then just take a little flat back pearl. Here we go. You can use florals. You could add a little flower there, and I could have added this like to the center of, I can add a couple actually. Yeah. One's kind of like an offset. So we can add like a couple of them. Like that. There we go. 2 little pearls. It just gives it that little something. So that's how I like to embellish. And I like to do that little thing too with that little ball of thread, where you're just, it doesn't matter too much, you're just bunching it up, and then you can put it in the center too, and then I like to put a pearl in the center of that. So that's the other way I would do that. And that's just kind of like a little piece of twine I had sitting here. So that's what I do. So if I've got like little, I keep everything, guys, even if it's just a tiny little piece of fabric like this, out of like your laces and stuff, because you can use that like in a cluster, or as like a little thing to embellish. There's so many things that we can do. So there's our first one. And that's kind of towards the end of the first signature. And I'm going to do the same thing in the second signature. And we'll do something totally different for the next one. So yeah, right after we have that. Okay, 1, 2. Yep, that's our third page from the back. Yep, same place. So we have our next one. So same kind of thing. And you can get quicker at it as you go. And there's no right or wrong way. This is just how I learned how to do it. And you can Fabri-Tac it. You can use your PVA glue, whatever you prefer. Sorry guys, my husband's coming in the door and my dog's gonna freak out. Just warning you, I have my door closed, but yeah. Okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. There we go. So, same thing, we're just gonna go right along here. And I've got my lace trim right along here like that. Perfect. And they don't all have to be the same. Like I could use different laces if I wanted to. I'm just gonna show you guys again just for the sake of the video. And I like continuity. So you don't have to do that. It's just, it's how my brain works, I guess. I will do something different for the center though. I just like it to sort of match. It doesn't have to though. That's the great thing about junk journals. When we're making journals, there's no rules. And you can do whatever you like. And there's no right or wrong way. It's however it's just like art. However you interpret it, right? And that's what makes it fun. We all have unique styles. We all have our own different way of doing things. And there's always something to learn. It's so fun. Even now, after years of doing this, I'm still learning things. Oh, I never thought to do that. Or, hey, that looks fun. And we get different ideas. And it's just fun to share and give inspiration. There we go. So that's our same kind of thing. And then, but I want to do something totally different for this. So we have, okay, I'm going to look to the tags now. So let's have a look at our tags. You know what? I think we could do mushrooms for this one. That would be fun. I like these ones. Yep, let's do mushrooms. Here we go. So, same thing guys, I'm just going to start tearing. And not worrying too much about how it looks where it lands. Okay. There we go. I like that mixed media that I've done kind of right here. So I'm going to tear that out as well. Let's see how that... Here we go. And same thing, I'm just going to tear it that I don't have any other white sections. So this is just like a controlled tear that I like to do. If you guys can see, it's like holding it and then tearing it. I have a tear ruler as well. I just find that, I mean, that's great if I'm doing pages and I want them all a certain measurement or something. But if I'm just tearing out like ephemera pieces and different things, I just use my fingers. And I just find it like this to be very controlled. There we go. And again, we don't have to be perfect. I just like it to kind of have, there we go, some kind of continuity there. There we go. Okay, I'm really happy with that. I like that with the mushrooms. Okay, then we're going to add That little bit of distressing, just to get rid of the white edges. I don't like white edges. There we go. And just makes it pop. Right like that. And then we're going to add, let's have a look at our lace again. Here's a nice piece of cream. So I could do something like this, where I'm adding like a piece of cream. That's very nice right here. Okay. Again, we're going to grab a book page. And again, I just check it for no bad words. Yep. There. And just, there we go. So it's more of a even kind of thing. Yep, right like that. And then we can, I like that, right like this. Okay. And then we can add, that's probably what we should do. If that makes sense, where we're just, yeah, and this was one of the ones I had extra to tear. So let's just add this little piece here for some interest. So yeah, before you probably glue it down, this is probably where you'd want to, there, I like that, if you guys can see. You just kind of play with it until it looks right, then you can just glue everything down. So here we go. So we're going to glue these two pieces. And it doesn't matter, you can use your PVA glue, you can use your Fabri-Tac. I like Fabri-Tac when I'm adding my lace trims and things. And then of course I'm attaching it to my, my belly band, which has already the fabric lace on it, so that's why I'm using the Fabri-Tac glue. Because for all things paper, I like my or glitter glue, or you can use a Lean's Tacky or any PVA glue that you prefer. There we go. I'm just gonna glue. Actually, I'm gonna glue that a little further down. There we go, like that. Okay, and then. Yeah. Oh, how did I have that? Let's see. Or maybe it was. Yeah, I can quickly reposition that. Yeah, I think it was more like here that I had that. Okay, no, it was the other way. Yeah, like that. Okay, I messed that up. That happens. Okay, what are we doing here? There we go. See, that took me a hot minute. That's what Fifi does before 2 cups of coffee in the morning. So just play with it until it looks right, guys. And as you can see, sometimes it takes me a hot minute to get things to look right. Okay, let's try that again. So we did that here. Okay, that's right. And that's more like, yeah, more like here. Okay. Gotcha. There we go. I like that. Just like that. And again, a beautiful little cluster for the center of our belly band. And I'm just going to come along here, and I'm going to Fabri-Tac this all here. I'm going to go over this here just to reinforce it down. There we go. Because I've moved it a couple of times. Yeah, there we go. Just like that. And then I can glue that right to here. Yeah. Right like that. And I'm just going to add my little pearl right, actually, I'll add my little pearl to the other side. Yep, right to the bottom. Nope, changed my mind. Right here. There we go. Right there. And sometimes just, that's all you need, just that little something. There. You could add pearls all along here if you wanted to, little gemstones, whatever you want to do. I just like to accent it with that little bit of something. There. I'm really happy with that. I'm just trying to have a look at my desk here and see what else I have sitting here. Here's some light jewelry cord. And we could do the same kind of thing where we're just, I'll share with you guys what I mean by adding just a little piece of something. Okay, right here. There we go. I'm just going to give that a little glob. And I'm just going to start bunching this. In no particular way. Just, here we go. And I'll just hold that down. There we go. So that's just a little piece of jewelry cord. And again, it just kind of gives it a little bit of interest. There. That's just something I had sitting on my desk. I'm really happy with that. And again, there's our little cluster, and we could tuck journaling cards, an envelope, if you've got something. Like I've got something random here sticking at my desk. Here's like a little thing here. I've piece of cardstock that I've used Tim Holtz floral collage paper over, and I've heat embossed it in Tim Holtz damask with gold embossing powder from Ranger. On the inside is a scrapbooking piece of paper from the paper pad die cuts with a view, one of their vintage packs. I think it's their heirloom. Yeah, their heirloom stock. And then, yeah, I just stitched around it, and that's all that is. So you can just kind of tuck it in here for a little something. Perfect, just like that. Sorry, guys, that's my husband coming in. That's why the dog's freaking out. Perfect, just like that. And then for our third one, we'll go to the last signature. Yeah, towards the end, and it was 1, 2, 3 pages. 1, 2, 3, and we've got the birds here. 3 pages here. Just gonna check my time. Yeah, we're fine. Good. And we'll add our last one in here. And clusters are a lot of fun. I also like to do them on my blank pages. So you could do the same kind of concept where you're taking your image. Oops. You're taking your image from your it could be a kit image, it could be from a tag, anything, where you're taking that and you're using it as your focal point, and then you're adding a book page to it. You're adding some scrapbooking paper. You can layer your Tim Holtz die cuts and things, your words, and then you can do a little mixed media around it and make like actual focal points for your pages doing that too. So it's just a lot of fun. There's so many things that you can do. And actually for the last one, I'm going to change it up because I have this other lace here too. So that's okay, but it's the same kind of concept. Just to do something different. There we go. And oh, I have a little bit of overhang on this one. Here we go. There we go. So I think actually next week, because we've got 2 more weeks of November. So next week we're going to just keep going and do the finishing touches of the journal. And then the last week, the final thing that we'll do is the decorating the journal dangle. We'll build one. Because I'm going to show you guys 2 different ways. I'm going to show you how to make one out of fabric to do like a snippet. And that's another way you can do a belly band as well. So I'll show you guys how to do a snippet, like a little snippet roll kind of thing. And I'll show you guys how to do a beaded dangle. So lots of fun. And I like to add both to my journal spine. There we go. Then, same thing, we're just going to take another piece of this one, because I have it handy, and it just gives it that little bit of something. There we go. And then I'm going to take December off, guys, because December I have my kids home from school most of December. So, and I have family visiting from Ontario. So I just wanted to share that. So I'm not going to be available most of December. So I'm taking a little break. And December will come, or sorry, January we're going to come back. And I'm going to have a new digital kit. It's going to be Winter Birds. So I'm really excited for that. We'll have Winter Birds launch, and I'm going to be making, I'm going to show you guys how to do a file folder journal, and they're so much fun. So, save your file folders, we're going to be making a journal out of those. They're so much fun. Okay, then we're going to come back over to here, and we're going to pick our next image. So now we have birds over here. And we could do another rabbit. Yep, I like this one. We'll go with that one. The mummy and her babies. There we go. So I'm just gonna do one of these. I just like that controlled tear. There we go. Well, we can get a little closer here, actually. Let's do that. There we go. That's perfect. There. So these kind of scraps I wouldn't keep, that are just, you know, teeny tiny. Me ripping stuff off. But I do like to keep, like a little bit bigger pieces for scrapbooking papers, and if I have any sort of images left like this on a digital kit that I printed, then absolutely I'll just, you know, throw them into like a scrap pile. And that's the other fun thing too. You could do these techniques and different things and just look to your scrap piles and start, like, you know, making clusters and putting things together. Let's do something different. I can have kind of, hang on, we need a book page. Here's another one. Maybe just there we go. Even just like that, guys. A blank little thing with the number 313. That's kind of neat, right? Like that. Okay. I like that. That's cool. Then we can add. Let's put this little piece of trim here. That just gives it that little something here. Okay, so let's do that first. We'll add that to the bottom. Yeah, right across here, like that. Perfect. Yeah, right like that. And then, there we go. We can just tear that down a little bit more, so we're not sticking out too far. There we go. Just like that. Perfect. Okay. Then over here we can add, let's add this little section here. I really like how this this paper is like a contrast. Like it's a nice contrast, but it's also like pulling in the same kind of element. So it's nice when we find something that kind of does that. Oh, I don't want to use that. That's part of my book. Whoops. That could have gone very badly. Okay, just like that. And then we need a little piece of lace. There we go. I'll use another piece of that beigey color lace right here. There we go. Perfect. So exactly like that. And we just build up our layer. Right like that. Okay. And then right along here. Perfect. Right like that. And then that'll go at the side. Oh, then I want to glue that down better. Right along here. There we go. And then that'll go right to the side over here. right like that. Perfect. So just like that. And then this one sticks out a little further, and that's okay. Just like that. Perfect. So we'll put that down. Just like that. And right about here. So I'll show you guys what I meant. I actually do have, I have my sewing thread right here. I'll quickly open this and I'll show you guys. That doesn't want to open. Sorry, guys. There we go. I just have to find my end. Here we go. So I would just pull out probably that. Just a little bit. This is just sewing machine thread, guys. So again, just clumping it all into a little ball. And this is, I wouldn't usually do that. I just don't have any handy right now. I keep my like little bits and bobs that come off of my my sewing machine, right? I just wanted to show you. That's why I just did that. Because this is one of my favorite things to use, actually. And I'll show you the look you get. It's just beautiful. And it's so simple. See? And just by adding that little bit of sewing thread. And you could absolutely stitch these if you wanted to. You don't have to, but you can. And so that tiny little bit there of sewing thread. And then I would add my little pearl on top. And again, you don't have to use Fabri-Tac. You can use your PVA glue, whatever you guys want. I'm just using what I have in front of me here. Okay, and then right in the center of that. So that's one of my favorite things to do. I love that. And it just gives it that little something. And then, again, guys, our little belly band. We can put our journaling cards, tags, or our envelopes underneath. So it's just a lot of fun. So I'm going to leave it at that for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. It's a lot of fun. So I'm so happy with all the progress that we've made and the things that we've done in here. I'm super excited to show you guys. So yeah, I just literally, that's all we have left is just a little bit more. And I'm going to leave it mostly for journaling spots for the recipient of the journal, because I do like to leave them some room. The other thing I like to do too, so when I showed you guys how to spray, how I just, you know, sprayed the mica stains everywhere, you don't have to do that either. You could spray them onto your mat, like, you know, onto your glass media mat. You can add a little bit of water, and then you could take a brush that's like this, a fan brush, like this, guys, and then you just go into your mica with the fan brush, and you just do one of these, where you're just adding little speckles here and there to your pages. So that's something absolutely that you can do too, so you're not getting like blobs. So if you wanted to add something a little bit more subtle, that's how I would get that, by just using a fan brush. So again, we've just added our elements in that we've made. I need to do some stenciling here, or maybe some decoupage in some different spots. But yeah, I'm really happy. So we just added this one. And then we've done, yep, some more here on this one too. We just have lots of journaling space, nice subtle pages. I need to add our bunny here some decoupage. And then we've just added our belly band. I love that one too. In here with the bunny. So thank you guys so much. It's been a lot of fun. And next week we were going to finish up our journal and add some more finishing touches. And then we're going to do our journal spine. And I'm going to show you guys how to do a belly, like a snippet. And I'm going to show you guys how to attach that and how to do like out of like jewelry findings and things, and how to do a beaded dangle. So we'll do that as well. So thank you guys so much. Thanks for joining me. Again, I'm Fifi the Paper Crafter across social media. You can find me in my Facebook group, Fifi the Paper Crafter's Creative Community. I create digital kits, and my Etsy shop is Fifi's Digital Designs on Etsy. And I sell my digital kits there. And I'm on YouTube and Instagram at Fifi the Paper Crafter. So thank you guys so much, and you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you all back soon. Thanks, everyone. Bye.